Good morning, everybody. Pastor Rick here, Broadman Baptist Church. This is the Broadman Word for the 23rd of June, 2021. I hope you're having a wonderful day in the Lord. It is a marvelous day to be a Christian, and we have some exciting stuff to talk about today. You know, we get confused a lot between religion and Jesus. It's an easy thing to do because we have so much of what we do around church as process and procedure, religion, if you would. But getting that in its constructs confused with Jesus can cause some problems. Today is Jesus or religion. That's what we're talking about. And it's from a section of the devotional Radical Wisdom. So here we go. We think of ourselves as needing to live at peace with each other, and the Bible tells us this many places, and we are to try to the greatest extent possible, be at peace with the world. But God does call us to have some fight. We should not sit and wait around for evil to attack. We should instead focus on attacking the effects of evil so that it is warded off. We should pick some wrong, some effect of evil in the world, and literally go fight it. With what we have, our words, our spirit, our devotion, our time, our resources, we should pick some fights. And in that fight, we can discover who we are and what we can bring to the battlefield, because in the midst of conflict with the effects of evil, we don't struggle against flesh and blood, right? We struggle against the forces of darkness. So in our struggle, in picking our fight against the effects of evil, we will find that there are strengths we have, but we'll also find that there's weaknesses that we have, and we can grow from these things. We can find out who we are. We can find out who God is, and we can find out the strength of God in us and through us. We can determine our purpose. We can find meaning in the struggles against evil, the effects of evil, because we're spending our lives, our time, our focus on something that matters. We are bringing Christianity to the darkness and seeking out to mitigate or eliminate the effects of evil. The main thing that can get in the way is when we get real religious about this. It can have a deleterious effect on bringing Jesus to people. Jesus actually took on religion. If you think about it, the main thing that got him in trouble, worldly wise trouble, not that he was worldly, but the world's perception of him, was that he went against the cultural norm. He went against the system. He went against the religious structure of the day. That got him in trouble. That put him on the opposite side of the church authority. Religion, then, is in some respects, depending on the thing you're talking about, a distortion of Jesus. It tries to put God in a box. It tries to domesticate God, for lack of a better term. But God is much bigger, freer, and better than anything that we could conceive of or construct. So trying to put a box around God doesn't make any sense. Religion creates an idea of God that is comfortable to those with the religious practices. Religion can veil love, truth, and beauty behind the religious practices. Jesus instead chose to amplify love, grace, and caring. So why then are some folks stuck on religion and religious practices instead of the meaning behind them and the grace behind them and the love that's supposed to be exhibited through the practices of the church. We gravitate to religion because it's easier. It can allow us to not dive too deeply into those things that are hard: love, grace, forgiveness, selflessness, service, ministry. With religion, we can keep it real surface level, and we can learn how to act within the system because it has rules, it has constructs, it has do's and don'ts, it has procedures, it has events, it has pageantry, it has things that make sense to us, make us feel good. We can learn how to operate within that system. We can navigate religion very well. However, we're not called to a religion. We're called to serve Jesus. And Jesus is a lot less definable. Agape love, selflessness, serving others, existing to advance the kingdom and the purposes of God and not yourself or your immediate family, to live beyond what the world sees of you and live up to the heavenly construct of who you are. These are difficult things. It requires work, time, resources, introspect. It requires dedication to it, planning, all kinds of things that don't have neat, tidy packages, things that aren't easily put into place and have requirements of you that are ever changing for each situation that you go into, each season of life. It's a dynamic, growing, living thing. Religion can be simple, easy to identify, comfortable, and not quite so variable, and not necessarily the same level of work. So we're called to serve Jesus, though, not any particular religion. Jesus changes everything. He changes how we think. He changes how we live, act, serve, work. It's a complete reformation. You are, in fact, a new life, no longer alive of the world or of yourself, but alive in Christ Jesus, and that is now the source of who you are, the definition of who you are, the impetus for your existence changes from anything that it was in the world to now what it is in Christ, who is Spirit. Your residency is now in heaven. You are now a citizen of heaven, a member of the kingdom, an adopted child of the one true God, and so everything changes. You are new. So you don't think, live, act, work, or serve like the world anymore. You're new. And you take your lead from Jesus and not anybody else. He changes how we approach things, how you approach your job, your friends, your family, your home, and how we serve others, how you serve your community. Jesus changes all that because we change as part of him. Ultimately, you're not going to be able to serve Jesus and religion. Religion is going to box you in. It's going to give you ideas and constructs that require strict adherence. It's going to lead to you being in the church, being known for what it's against and not what it's for. You can become a slave to the rituals and routines of religion and religious practices. And you can put a stumbling block between you and grace, and it can also prevent you from having the zealous devotion to Jesus that we're called to. So listen, church is an awesome thing. It is a necessary thing. being part of a body of believers, the family of Christ, is crucial to the work of a Christian in the world, no matter what you're called to in the kingdom. But we have to make sure that we're there because we are serving Jesus and not merely exercising a religious practice. That we're not being religious about our relationship with Jesus. That the religion is Jesus and not something that we've constructed. Matthew 23, 27 and 28 is an excellent passage. I'm going to read it to you right now to finish out today. What sorrow awaits you, teachers of religious law, and you Pharisees, hypocrites! For you are like whitewashed tombs, beautiful on the outside, but filled on the inside with dead people's bones and all sorts of impurity. Outwardly you look like righteous people, but inwardly your hearts are filled with hypocrisy and lovelessness. So let's make sure that we are focused on Jesus, serving Jesus, being ambassadors of the gospel of Jesus Christ, being reconcilers to the cross, and not constrained by religion or any religious practices. Hey, I love you. I hope you have a wonderful day, and I'll see you next time.